What is Warframe? It's a movement-based looter-shooter MMO light. You control these space ninja robot suits. They have unique abilities, and with the right setup, you can make them do the fun. My first example, and something a little more spicy. And at the time of recording this video, there's 53 of them. We'll be referring to these from now on as frames. Each of these comes with a passive and a set of 4 abilities. The system will be unlocking later on. You'll be able to swap some of these abilities out. And don't even get me started on the augment mods, which can completely change how Warframe is played. And yes, there are more than 53 Warframes in the game, but those would be primes, which are a better version of normal Warframes. Not all of them have their primes yet. They're either set to or it's undetermined. They're not that much better than the actual Warframe. So as to not complicate things early on, let's just say it's really just looks. So now that you have a basic understanding of what a Warframe is and kind of what it's going to look like later on, let's figure out what your first big goal in the game is so that we can break it down into smaller ones that make your journey a little bit easier. So this is the Starchart. Your first big goal, to get through the entire thing, unlocking all the nodes. What are nodes? Nodes are specific points on a planet with set game modes and set enemy levels, as you can see here, as well as it shows the enemy faction. If you see a node with a special symbol on it, these are usually fissures. For now, we want to ignore these. I will be going over these later. They're just a modified version of that mission, so just ignore it for right now. Some planets still have functioning relays. This will be where you go to trade with fellow Tenno. And also where you go to talk to some of the syndicate leaders, but just forget about that for right now. So this is a planet Junction. They'll have challenges for you to complete in order to unlock it, where you can go and fight a Warframe. That will unlock your path to the next planet, as well as giving you quests, mods, weapons, a bunch of stuff to help you on your way. These challenges also help point the player in the right direction, but the game just doesn't continue that, so that's why we're kind of making this video. So you fire up the game and you're left here with a choice. Left or right? Warframe or Paradox? What does that even mean? Well, the Warframe path, that would be the tutorial that people have been playing since the game started. It has gotten revamped recently, but it is pretty much the same thing. And on the right we have Duviri Paradox, the latest release from DE. This will be helping us tremendously in starting off in the game, and I personally am going to start here. You can choose either one, but I would recommend it as you're gonna have to play through it anyway, and it kind of knocks it out of the way and gets us the ability to level early on, as well as unlock some frames and mods early on that we normally wouldn't be able to. So before you hop in there and start knocking out this quest, I'm gonna leave you with a couple things. When it comes time to choose your frame in Duviri, this isn't really gonna matter as you're gonna have to make this decision again when we start the actual game. For now, just pick whatever looks coolest. And when you get to this screen, just go ahead and click leave and come back to the video. We will be coming back to Duviri after we finish some of the introductory quests. So play through Duviri and I'll see you when you get back. So with this guide, my goal is to point you in what I feel is the right direction. There's a lot of ways to play this game, but I think a lot of people give up on this as soon as they're given the freedom of choice because there's just so much in this game. So let's just give you what I would do if I were starting this game brand new with the knowledge that I have. So starting the base game, we're going to have to choose what your starter frame is. For me, I went with Excalibur as I think the boss fight for him is the worst to farm out of the two because Volt, you will be buying from the clan dojo, so there's no reason to pick that one unless you just really want to play him. And Mag's farm is one of the easiest bosses in the game in my opinion, so we're just going to go with Excalibur. Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick recording to go over some of the basic movement in the game. So, first of all, obviously, WASD, jump, you can double jump if you double tap it, just a normal jump. You have toggle crouch, which I have set to control. This isn't the crouch that I normally use. I have hold to crouch so that I can do a slide, and you can do this while sprinting too. But the main reason is comboing a slide with a jump turns into a bullet jump. This is the main way of moving around in the game. As you can see, I'm already just instinctively comboing things together. I wanted to show you what like high level movement looks like early on so that you can start working on it. So you can start chaining stuff like double jumps, do these big lunges, and then there's also, if you double tap shift, you can roll. So what I do is roll. You can do this, double jump into a roll. You're just basically lunging yourself constantly. This is like the fastest way to move around right now, outside of like, you know, abilities. So then we have aim gliding. So when you ADS while jumping, you will glide and it'll slow down how quickly you fall. I wanted to show you this because there are certain abilities in the game that will lock you in an animation when you cast it. So a way to not get shot or, you know, avoid more bullets is to jump, ADS, and right click, or sorry, and cast the ability so that you are aim gliding while casting the ability so that you're not just standing still. Just a little tip. So now the game's going to give you the opening cinematic showing off the 3 starter frames. Again, we've already gone over choosing Excalibur. Now it's going to make you choose your starting weapons and show you some of the movement that we just showed you. I just tried to show it in what I felt was a better way. But yeah, first off I chose the bow, as this is by far the best melee out of the two. When paired with the stance mod we'll be getting soon. Stance mod, by the way, is just something that changes the way that your character swings the weapon. So for the second weapon, I chose the Lotto. Both of these are pretty meh. You won't be using these a whole lot, so choose whichever looks cooler. And for your primary, I just went with the Braton just so I could hold left click and just shoot instead of charging up each shot with the bow. The bow does do more damage, but yeah. So now you've completed the tutorial mission. The game's going to be giving you some missions to retrieve some parts to repair your ship. Shouldn't take too long. So here you're presented with your first login reward. You're going to want to do this as much as possible, as at 100 days, 200 days, and 400 days, if I'm remembering correctly. There are pretty significant rewards, so do that when you can. And at some point during these intro missions, you will be getting this mastery rank test. This will be your first one. It's super simple. You don't even have to practice it like I would normally recommend. The first few are pretty easy. And I'm just going to show a little bit of footage of me running through it, just so you have an idea of what you're doing. You're just getting kills with your primary. It's super simple. So what is this mission for? This is us just ranking up. This is going to happen as you fill up your affinity bar, which is what Warframe refers to XP as. And mastery rank is really just your overall account rank, which you level up from leveling Warframes and weapons. As well as the daily standing cap is pretty nice for the open worlds, as you're allowed to get more XP per day with that. So before you start the introductory missions, you get one segment for free, and this is your arsenal. This is where you are going to be equipping warframes and weapons and companions and changing your appearance, all of that. But for now, let's just avoid this, as I'm going to be going over this entirely here in a little bit once we can actually do something with this. So each of these intro missions, you're going to be gathering a part, and it will be a different mission type for each one that you run. This will be running you through the main game modes in the game. This is not everything that there is, but the ones you will be running the most. So for the first mission, we will have Spy. Think of these like puzzle rooms. In a normal mission, there will be 3 of them. You can either stealth through all the puzzles or do what I'm doing if you know where you're going. So this is me hacking the first console. These are not exclusive to Spy. They're super simple, and yeah, you basically are just going to press spacebar whenever it passes over one of those nodes. This puzzle in particular is unique to Grenier. As with every faction, you will have to do a different type of puzzle to unlock the door. And in a normal mission, there will be 3 puzzle rooms. So for the next mission, we have Rescue. So first thing, this is what the outside of the room looks like. It'll be a double button, so if you're playing with other people, 2 people will have the button simultaneously. So here you're seeing me use a secret entrance rather than the front door that you would normally have to hack. Now, there is normally 2 to 3 rooms you have to hack in one of these missions, and one of them has the person you're trying to rescue. I got lucky and got it on the first one. Don't worry about giving them a secondary. Just rush to extract, as they will TP to you as you get far away from them. So this next part here, Vor is going to be shutting off your shields, and you're going to be stuck in an animation, but if you float over for a few seconds once it starts, and fall to reset yourself, you're not going to have any of that applied, and you can just run out of the mission before he even gets done. And there we go, mission complete before he could even finish his dialogue. So now with the modding segment installed, it's time to learn the basics of modding. So this won't be a full breakdown on modding, but this will be a good introduction into the modding screen so that you know what you're doing when you open it up. Alright, so here we are in the arsenal. This is your modding screen. So the first thing I want to start with, aura mods are specific to Warframes, whereas Exila slots, this one, see the symbol with the 2 arrows, is on weapons as well. Now, for melees, that's a little different. Stances specifically change how your Warframe is going to swing that certain melee. So, aura slots. We're going to start with that. The most simple one to understand, melee weapon damage. When you apply this, the melee weapon you're using is going to have plus 60% melee damage. If you're using a sniper, it's going to add more sniper damage. For this one, if you apply a status effect, it's going to give you plus 25 ability strength for 6 seconds. It's pretty good. And another thing to know is with aura mods, the higher the number, the better, if it's the matching polarity, right? But for those of you who choose Excalibur, you might notice you don't have one of those. So that means no matter what aura you put here, it's going to add whatever the top right number is, and that's it. So keep that in mind. And for Exila slots, I don't have it unlocked on this Warframe, but I can still show you because the unique thing about Exila that you can't do with aura mods, so I'll take an aura mod, you can't put it there. But with Exila, these mods are utility mods, basically, that you can put here and up here. And just to do it, I'm going to buy it. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Only doing this is not a new account. So they can be put in this slot and they can be put down here. But these 8 slots, I would normally reserve for, you know, the very big changing mods, the stuff that has like really big stats, right? For now, again, we're just going to auto install and leave it there. And also one thing I want to mention is arcanes, ignore these. You're not going to have these for a long time, so just ignore them. That's later game content, not a big deal. So finally, like I said, we are only going to be auto installing, but something I do want to note is notice how I have the blue dots at the bottom of my mods, and you probably don't, right? If we go over here to modding, what I just did was click the mods shortcut. This is going to take you over to your mod bench without actually having to leave the arsenal and walk over there physically in your ship. You can just pop over here, and then a mod that you don't have fully leveled, you can use this arrow, and it's going to cost Indo and credits. I will show you how to get that later. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Even leveling mods right now is not really that important. So with that out of the way, we now have Extermination. This mission type is super simple. You're just going to be killing a certain amount of enemies and then leaving. But for this mission, you are going to have to pick up an item that is just unique to the story mission. And this goes for any game mode, but if you're ever confused on what you're supposed to do in a mission, in the top left below the minimap will tell you the objective. So now you have your Foundry segment. This is where you're going to be crafting stuff, everything from weapons to warframes and other miscellaneous things. There is not a daily limit on how many things you can craft, but crafts do take time, everywhere from 12 to 72 hours. So for the next mission we have Sabotage. This is going to be the first one where I don't think they did this right. So in a normal Sabotage mission, you're trying to destroy some sort of generator or something. In this, they're just showing you the optional part of it, which is the 3 caches. And they also have them marked, which is not how they are in the real mission. Which, that part is fine. It's just not showing you how the actual mission is played is a little weird. But it is just a story mission getting resources, so I guess that's fine for now. So with the mission finished, you now have enough resources to finish the craft, and luckily this costs 0 plat to rush, so you can go ahead and do that. But when it comes to most crafts, I wouldn't recommend rushing because plat is valuable and it's usually never worth it for these crafts. So now the device is off, but it's not over. You've still got to go kill Vor. So this next mission is literally just going to get a locator to find where Vor is. Super quick. Then of course you have to install that. Now time for baby's first boss fight. Super simple. I'm going to show you the full length thing so you can see that I just kind of ground pounded my way through the whole fight. And for those who don't know how to do the ground pound, you are going to be jumping in the air and looking down to the ground and slamming with middle mouse.
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
And there you go. Tutorial quest complete. So now you've reached the point in the game where most people actually quit because the game just gives you a bunch of freedom and no direction. And if you made it to this point in the video, you have realized that this is not the first 50 hours, this is only the first few. And I plan to be making a few videos going over the full 50 hours, as I cannot condense it into one video without it being over an hour long and more than anyone's willing to watch through. So for the rest of this video, we are going to be showing you how to get through junctions, as well as introducing some new factions to the game. So first off, we have the Venus Junction. We just completed Vor's prize. Now we need to make sure you have 20 mods, apply 4 mods, and rank a mod up to rank 2. So we'll be going to Cambria for this. This is because it drops a lot of mods for each room that you clear. And this mission drops a couple mods we'd like to have, one being Vicious Frost, and the second important one being Hornet Strike. So ideally you would run this until you would get Serration, Hornet Strike, and Vicious Frost, but Vicious Frost is really the one we're going to need right now. So once you've got Vicious Frost and your 20 mods, you can stop spamming the mission. And for this next part, I'm just going to be leaving up all 3 of the rooms so that you know how to complete them. They're going to show up in different orders each time, but it'll be the same 3 rooms.
Alarms. Destruction is imminent. We're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now, and they will start destroying the data. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Excellent work. The target console is nearby. If you trigger the alarms now, the enemy will start destroying data.
And I really am having trouble, aren't I?
Data extracted. They won't even know.
So the next one's pretty easy, just apply 4 mods to a Warframe or weapon. Alright, so I'm back here in the arsenal, some things I wanted to go over, where for the 4 mods, you're just going to pick whatever you have the highest rank, and try to apply 4 mods to it. You could just take something super cheap and unranked, just take a bunch of stuff that like is 2 capacity or 4. And if you don't have anything leveled enough to put 4 mods on it, then I would recommend to keep running the spy, as every time you unlock one of those rooms, it's a boost in XP, as well as you have a chance to see Eximus. And if you're really low, you're not even close to putting mods on, I would recommend killing everything in between each room that you're going to as you spam these missions, and eventually you'll get it. So for the next challenge, we just have to upgrade a mod. This one will be super easy. So here we are in the arsenal again. We're just gonna go here. We'll just pick pressure point for now. And what we're gonna do is go over here to fusion. And for the challenge, we need it to be rank 2. So we need 30 Indo and 1400 credits. So from running that spy mission, 2 mods you'll be getting is Metal Auger and Reflex Guard. Now I'll show you what one of these costs, and you can sell it for 15 Indo or 1000 credits. Running this a few times until you get something you can sell, it's definitely the way to go. Alright, so now it's time to do your junction. And just to prove a point, all I'm gonna have is the stance mod, no other mods. Once you complete all your challenges, before you can go through the junction to the next planet, you're gonna have to fight a Warframe. It's like a little mini boss. So we have Volt first. It's super easy. I'm just gonna ground pound. This is super effective early on. That's why you're gonna see me do it a lot. There you go. All of his shield's gone. And you would kill quicker if you have mods, but even without them, you really don't need it. Now, for me, it's going to ask to go back here because I've already done it, but you're going to get a marker here, interact with it, it'll do a little cutscene, and then boom, you have the next planet unlocked. So here we are on Venus. The first node you'll obviously have to do is Extermination. And then I'm going to want you to come up to Tessera, and the reason for that is because we want to do the Mercury Junction. And one of the challenges is complete 10 waves of defense on Tessera. So you'll do that, and then you'll immediately go up to Linea. And the reason for that is rescuing a hostage on Linea on Venus. And then we'll come right back down to Venera, I think. And then we'll do this mobile defense, and then the final boss fight. So I'm not going to be going over these missions. I am only going to go over the assassination, but they are super simple. It's just a defense and a rescue. You've played them before. You got this. All right, Jackal boss fight. We're going to do this in one take. So some things to know about the Jackal's mechanics is he has a wall that can damage you. And when it is red, that is known as its damaging phase. And there's a pattern to it. The pattern goes 1, 2, 3, 3. So when he comes up here, I'm going to skip this. He has 4 little health bars there. He has 4 legs. Each leg is going to be its own stage. You can just walk up, boom, 1 tap. Now, for this, he's only going to have 1 damage phase. And at the end of this damage phase, he's going to drop. So I'm just going to preemptively bullet jump, so I don't get hit by the shockwave. Then you walk up and interact, and then it'll start doing an animation. Now, I will note this animation is very broken and breaks almost every time you do it. Alright, and then we're just going to take another leg, boom, 1 tap. Now for this one, he's going to have 2 damage phases. He's going to go 1, and then it's going to switch directions. Boom. Ready for it? Boom. Now he's going to drop at the end of this. Going to preemptively jump. Then walk up. Interact. Phase 2. Super simple. Now for his back legs. Just going to take that one. He knocked us over. It's fine. Even if you die in this, it's fine. You have 6 revives. 5 or 6. Something like that. So he's gonna have the 3rd one. And we're gonna jump up. See, like there, it broke. Alright, and the last leg. Oh, I got knocked over. There we go. And remember, he is going to do 3 phases again. Boom. And there you go. That is the Jackal down. Now, what drops from this is the Stropha, Stalta, and Rhino. Rhino is a Warframe, Stalta and Stropha are weapons. Stropha is going to be really good, and Rhino is going to be worth farming. I'm actually going to be talking about that in episode 2. If you want to stick around and go ahead and farm that stuff, go right ahead, and then come back to the video when you're done. So with the boss fight done, all your challenges are done, Mercury Junction is complete. Now it is time to go fight, I think, Loki. No, it's Rhino. So, Iron Skin, doesn't really matter. See? So, again, it's going to ask me to leave, but you're going to have to interact here. It'll do the same animation to send you to the next planet. So, with the Mercury Junction complete, you get 2 things from that. 1, obviously you get to go to Mercury, and 2, we wanted Once Awake. You're just going to come over here to your codex. I've already completed it, so it's not here, but it will be up here at the top. Just click Start and begin. So, this quest is just an introduction to the Infested faction. The quest is super simple. You're just doing a spy, extermination, and defense. So with that finished, we are now wrapping up video 1. I hope this helped a lot. And in the next video, we're going to be going over open worlds, farming warframes, getting you some better weapons, starting some major quests in the game. It'll be fun. I know this video was mostly just quests, but to be honest, that's kind of just the start of the game. It really will start ramping up soon. I hope to see you there. And also, you really want to like the video. You really want to subscribe. You really, really want to leave a comment. Thank you. Bye.